Hey friends, it's Jennifer. Welcome to episode 5 of the Real Knitting Podcast. I'm so glad you're here today. We've got a finished object. We've got works in progress. I've got a new bag I can't wait to show you. Yoga for knitters, and then just a bunch of miscellaneous stuff there at the end. So stick around or jump ahead, whatever you want to do. Let's get right into the knitting. This is my finished object. This is Love Note by Tin Can Knits. And you can see all the pretty lace. Don't look too close because I made a mistake or two. But perfection is the enemy of good, right? So it's a boxy cropped sweater, and I wanted this to wear with my dresses. And you can see it fits just at my waist in my sweet little dress. And I'm really pleased with it. I did a couple of mods to it. So I wanted short sleeve. My last Love Note has the 3/4 length sleeve, and I really wanted this one to be more spring, summery, something I could wear in warmer weather. So first off, this is Queensland Dungarees. It's a recycled blue jeans yarn, which amazes me because it's still got some pretty good drape to it, and it was great to work with. I was really happy with that. I changed the sleeves, so all I did was, as soon as I was done with the yoke section, I think I did like one round of stockinette after I picked up the stitches. Move my arm. I picked up the stitches, did one round of stockinette, and then I just did 5 rounds of 1x1 ribbing in my smaller needle size. Now these were DPNs. And then I just bound off with a super stretchy bind off. So they're kind of loose. I'm sure I could have done them smaller, but I really like this just loose, flowy, relaxed look and feel. So I did 3 different needle sizes. And it doesn't really call for this, but it's a little trick I learned. So the body is done in a size 10, which is what the pattern calls for. The ribbing down here, I did in a size 7 because I really don't like a sloppy looking rib, and my rib tends to look sloppy if I get it too big. But that's just a simple little 1x1 down there. Now, when I got over on DPNs, I know that when I work on double pointed needles, my gauge is way tight. So I kind of have to go up again. So I actually used size 8 double points to go around the sleeves. So there's those. I have not blocked this, and this is why. This yarn, this lace is going to really pop out a little bit more when I do block it. You can see the pretty leaves. Here's why. I didn't want my neckline to be really wide, and I was afraid a real stretchy neckline would hang weird with this cotton. So I just did like a straight knitted bind off here. Kind of regretting that. It does still fit over my head, but it's not, I kind of have to be aware of it. I want to make sure that my hair's not ever done, but if my hair were done, if I had on a lot of makeup, I would want to put the sweater on first because it just sort of slides down on. So I want to be real careful with that. I'm thinking about making it a stretchy one. Now the only problem that I see with that, I actually really like where this hits me. It's kind of a high neckline, which is cute with the dress. If I make it stretchy, it may come out a lot further, which I'm okay with. I like a wide neckline actually, but I like where this hits me at the waist. So if I loosen up the neckline, will I have to shorten the waist? I don't know. Let me know what your favorite cast off is. So the Love Note is knit top down, but it's provisional, and then you pick up and add the neckline on. So what's your favorite bind off for necklines? What do you like? let me know in the comments, because I'm still kind of trying to decide exactly what to do with this sweater. I'm ready to wear it, but you see I haven't woven it ends or anything. So maybe this counts as an AFO, an almost finished object. I don't know. Okay, so I love this. I will link to all the things down below. That's my finished object. I am still working on my little socks for James. He's my 7-year-old. It doesn't look like I've done a whole lot because it's still pretty small, but he's still kind of small. Not really. His feet are growing so fast. I had to go to the store today and buy him some new shoes, and I bought a boy's 4. No, a boy's one, like a men's size 1. Anyway, so I have, this is Socksy Lady is the name of this yarn, and I'm working it on my carbons, Knit Picks carbons in a size 0. And I'm really happy with the fabric. It's super soft, super, I like to call it bulletproof. I like my socks. If I'm going to work on socks, I want them to last. So I've turned the heel. I think I had started on this. This is a Eye of Partridge heel. So on the first row, you do knit 1, slip 1, knit 1, slip 1 all the way across. Then you purl back, and then you do slip 1, knit 1 all the way across and purl back, and then you alternate that. So it just makes a little bit squishier, thicker fabric in the heel, right where your shoes usually rub. And then I turn the corner, and I think I've done all the decreasing, and I'm just ready to start on the foot. So this is just a little shorty sock, and I like to use the recipe. It's found in the I like to go by the little cheat sheet. She calls it a step-by-step cheat sheet for socks. And it is found in Stephanie Pearl McPhee's book, Knitting Rules. There you go. I'll link to this book below. I need to do a review of this book. But it's just a simple sock recipe for a top-down flap, heel flap, and gusset sock. And I like what she has to say about socks and why to knit socks, and she gives you a lot of good information in here. So Stephanie Pearl McPhee's Knitting Rules. The yarn harlot unravels the mysteries of swatching, stashing, ribbing, and rolling to free your inner knitter. So that's the sock recipe. So all I have to do now is just round and round until it's long enough for his little foot, and then do the toe, and then I'm ready to start on the next one. So very happy with that. It is still living in my JoJo bag. There we go. There's the little right there, and these are the little Cozy Up Knits Girls logo. That's for their mom. Super cute. I won this as a giveaway from them a little while back. About to forget my needle. I don't need to lose a needle. All right. I have not put much work into this next one since the last podcast, but I know several of you are new around here, so I want to show it. This is a portage sweater. Oops, I always get kind of tangled up with stuff. This is a portage sweater by Melissa Shrewsbury. Is that her name? And this is the upper back in the right sleeve. I'm getting really close to being done with the right sleeve. I have all my little dangles there. You can see them up close. I think I made all of those. I went through a phase where I was like, oh, I want to make all the cute little dangly stitch markers. So I think that's pretty much all of them. I also have a little stitch marker from SAF 2021 because I was so excited to get back there. This is from Cottontail Farm VA on Etsy, and I will, let's see if it'll focus. But I'll pop a link to her shop in the description. And I'm working this on DPNs right now on the sleeve. I have the body on holders while I get the sleeves done, because that's a handy little trick. If you hate flopping around the whole big body of your sweater while you do your sleeves, do your sleeves first. There's no knitting police. We can do anything we want to, right? So I do it in that order. I learned that from my knitting teacher, Deb Berger. I'll pop her Instagram down below. She is off on adventures up in New York now, so I don't get to study under her, but I learned so much. And right here, this is the portage texture. Isn't that gorgeous? And there's the sleeve. The sleeves are stockinette, thankfully. That makes me really happy because that makes them go a lot faster. I will be working on this for a long time. I've got a lot more to do of the body, and then there's a great big shawl collar, and I've made this pattern once before. I think I'm actually going to make the shawl collar even bigger using her same numbers, but just keep going a little bit longer just to give me that extra rollover, that extra little bit of coziness. This is Holsgarn Super Soft, and it looks like it's going to be a see-through sweater, but it's not, because this fabric is going to bloom. It's a little bit crunchy, a little bit rustic, but once it blooms, it's going to fill in some of this, and it's also going to get significantly softer. Now, this will probably never be a merino soft, but that's okay. I don't intend to wear it next to skin, at least not often. It's a cardigan. Anyway, but that's that. And I've really enjoyed this. It's going to be a beautiful knit. It probably will take me forever. This may still be on the needles years from now. I don't know. It is still living with my rosewood knitting bowl stuffed down in, I'm such a mess. Stuffed down in my yarn as part of a high fiber diet bag from Knit Picks that my mama got me. Okay, that's really all the knitting. I've focused on this sweater so much and been so in love with the color and so in love with the yarn that I just powered through. I did this, I think I had just cast on. I don't think I was even to the lace when I podcasted 2 weeks ago. So super quick knit. It actually took less than 3 skeins of this yarn, so it's super affordable. I was really pleased. I got the yarn on sale, and you don't have to use very much. So here's my new bag. It's kind of my knitting bag. It's kind of my everything bag. I'm going to talk about my new planner here in just a minute, but I think I'm going to carry this bag all the time. Look. Isn't that cute? Look at the inside. Yeah, I took all my stuff out so you could see. So this bag was a gift to me from one of my knitting friends, Carol. And Carol, it's so sweet of her to give it to me. But she said she got it at Cracker Barrel. She actually has a few of these, and it's reversible. So if I get tired of this pretty flower print, I have my favorite color in swirls all through the middle of it. The thing I like most about this bag is that it stands up on its own. And look, it's huge. It's a huge bag. I'll talk more about what I've been putting in it in just a few minutes when we get to the life stuff. Okay, yoga for knitters. So this one is more for shoulders. It's for stretching out the back of the arm, called the tricep. So it's probably not going to help us with our little wings that we all tend to get about this age, but it will help stretch it out and help our shoulders behave better and be a little happier while we knit. So the first thing we're going to do is take your hand and pat yourself on the back like this. Pat yourself on the back. Yep. And then you're going to take the other hand, you have this little ear here, take your other hand and grab that elbow armpit shot in the camera there. Grab that elbow and pull it over. I'll turn so you can see that a little bit better. Now, if you are super flexible, you can reach hands together back there, one up and one down, and grab hands like this. But if your shoulders don't like that, just reach up and go across. And make sure you do both sides, taking time to really stretch out those shoulders. I'll do another Yoga for Knitters segment next time. I podcast every 2 weeks. Let's get into the weird miscellaneous section. So, first of all, I made a new video for you guys. I've made a couple of new videos, but this one I want to point out. It's a roundup of knitting trends for the summer. So what I did, I went and researched what the fashion trends will be for summer 2022. And I made a video about it, connecting that to knitting patterns. So, for example, matching sets, top and bottom matching, those are really in this summer. So I went through Ravelry and found patterns that really tied in with our trends. And I know that we're not necessarily going to have time to make these things by summertime, but there's plenty of time for next year, and trends often kind of repeat, and it takes them a while to go away. So thankfully, we don't have to always try to knit something different and keep up with the trends. But you'll find that linked here. I'll pop it in. Go and check it out. I've also put it in the blog. If you go to the blog, I have all of the patterns linked and listed down there. I am already reaping the benefits of having a YouTube channel. I've made so many new friends already. Some of you have commented that you live close or that you live far, but we have lots in common, and it's so much fun. I love having new friends. And I even caught up with a local knitter. Her name's Elizabeth, and she and I went for coffee the other day, and so have a new local friend even. It's really great. I don't get paid for doing this podcast, so I'm a little bit nervous. This Saturday, you guys know I do Kung Fu. I started Kung Fu to do it with my little boy. So he has been doing Kung Fu for about 2 years. Kind of took some time off during COVID, but he loves it. The Kung Fu studio is actually owned by my husband's cousin, and she does a great job over there, and so it's sort of like a family thing that James and I get to do together. But this Saturday, I'm testing to my green belt. A little bit nervous. So they go white belt. Everybody starts out as white belt. I didn't actually have a belt, but white belt. And then you test and you get your yellow sash. Then I got my blue sash. Next, this is green. Then once you get to brown, there are 3 browns that you have to test through to get to black. So I'm a long way from a black belt in Kung Fu, but I'm having so much fun. It's fun to be a true beginner at something again and really learn that from the start. School's out. We had kindergarten graduation the other day. It was absolutely precious. And my big boy's headed on to 1st grade. My birthday is next week, and my husband has asked me what I want for my birthday, and I don't really know. I think I'm just gonna ask for like my car to be detailed, but maybe I need more yarn. I don't know. What do you think? If it were your birthday, maybe it is your birthday. If it were your birthday, what would you be wanting? What would you be asking for right now? I love making new friends. Something else that's been on my mind a lot, we talked about last time, ADHD. And I've had a couple people reach out to me and be like, yes, I have all the ADHD, let's be knitting HDA friends. ADHD friends. My mouth sometimes goes faster than my brain. Somehow you're still sitting here. Okay, so I've been making a few accommodations. One of the things that I have done and I'm reading out of it right now, is I keep losing my planner. I bought the sweetest little, like, grown-up black small planner that would fit in my purse for the beginning of the year, and I thought, okay, this is going to keep me organized because I'll just keep it with my purse, right? No. I've lost it multiple times. So I went shopping online. This is my new planner. On the scale of this versus my head, it's bigger than my head. So I've only been using it for about a week and a half. So far, I haven't lost it. Fingers crossed. Yay. I have all my podcast notes in there. And I'm starting to try to figure out how to use it more like a bullet journal in addition to a planner. But look at that. It's huge. Another thing I've done is to make all my clothes. I went through and made outfits. So I put like these pants go with this top. And then in some cases I put 2 tops there to give myself a little choice. But I pre-made each outfit in my closet so that I don't have to go hunting for something to go with the skirt I want to wear. And this has really helped me out. And I didn't realize how much it had helped me until I screwed up the other day. I put on a little white top and I put the skirt on, and the skirt was a little bit too small still. Trying to lose a little middle so that my middle matches my skinny little arms, or at least goes with it a little bit better. But it was a little too snug around my middle. So I had a hard time figuring out what to wear, because then I started trying on this to go with this shirt and that to go with that shirt, and I didn't want to change my top, but yeah, it sent me off into ADHD crazy town. And so now I'm trying to really stick with the outfits that I've picked out instead of trying to mix and match pieces first thing in the morning while I'm trying to get ready to go. But that's really helped. So if you haven't tried making outfits, I've done a minimalist wardrobe before. So I did, what do they call it? The, where everything matches. I'm sure it'll come to me. I'll pop it down right here. I've done that where everything matches, you only have very few clothes. But what I still end up doing is trying to put together an outfit the morning of. And even with that minimalist wardrobe, it can be a little stressful. So I think I'm really happy with the outfit stuff. I've also been writing out my routines and workflows. I started doing this in Trello, and I was really pleased with Trello. And for those of you who like the digital stuff, it's perfect because you can carry it with you in your phone all the time. But I've realized that I much prefer to look at a planner and get an overview of the week or an overview of the month all at once. And I struggle to do that in the Google Calendar. So I'm moving everything into my ginormous planner. It's a happy planner. I will link below. But writing it out by hand really seems to help me visualize the scope of what all I need to do and cut back to, okay, well, this may be my to-do list, but only these 3 or 4 things need to be done on Thursday, right? Finally, another ADHD mod that I'm trying, and we'll see how it works out, is that I am wearing a watch for the first time in 20 years. So many years ago when I was a personal trainer, I quit wearing a watch because I found that I looked at it constantly. But with ADHD, there's this thing called time blindness, which I think everybody has from time to time. But with ADHD, you really lose track of time a lot. And I'm pretty bad about this. I was late to a meeting with my son's teacher the other day, and it's for no other reason than I was doing other stuff. I was distracted and didn't realize what time it is. So I'm trying, have the watch. I'll let you know how it goes. So I'm doing this podcast every 2 weeks, every 14 days. And the reason that I'm here is that I believe that everyone is creative. And I want to help you be creative. So my question is, how can I help you be more creative? I know ways that I am creative, and we may start including those into the podcast every other week. Ways to be more creative, ways to focus more on creativity, ways to give yourself a little bit more space for creativity. So tell me down below, what are ways that you use to give yourself time and space to be a little more creative? Also, next time, June the 10th, I want to do another giveaway. Do we want to do like a book giveaway or Notions giveaway? Maybe I need to give away one of those Cracker Barrel bags. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. If you make bags or you are an indie dyer and you would like to have a big shout out on this podcast, I'm still a tiny podcast, but I'm happy to promote you if you want to be part of a giveaway. If you're not, make sure that you check us out next time, June 10th, and I'll have a new something to give away. If you are enjoying these podcasts or any of my other videos, please remember to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, and I'd love to hear from you. Be sure that you sign up for my email newsletter, and that's where you can get a free pattern and keep up with all the new stuff. And hopefully we can get to know each other and enjoy our very creative community. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.